All right, today we're going to build a 72-hour emergency food supply that actually works when nothing else does. So no stove, no power, no problem. We are going to break down the entire strategy, piece by piece.
So think about this for a second, because this is the one question that trips up almost everybody. You feel prepared, right? Your shelves are stocked with food, but then, boom, the power goes out, and you have that sinking realization that your pantry is full of ingredients you have no way to cook.
And that is the critical flaw in so many emergency plans. We stock up with food that only works when everything is normal. Pasta, rice, all those frozen meals, they become completely useless the second you can't fire up the stove. We are going to fix that right now.
So what we're building here isn't just a shopping list you can grab and go. It's way more than that. It's an integrated system, a whole strategy where every single item has a very specific job to do. We're talking calories, nutrition, and yeah, even morale.
Okay, let's start with the absolute bedrock of this whole thing, protein. In a high-stress situation, your body's needs change, like a lot. And getting enough protein isn't just about staving off hunger. It's about preventing your body from literally breaking down.
Yeah, this really highlights a pretty stark reality. If you're not getting enough protein from food, your body will find it somewhere else. And that somewhere else is your own muscle tissue. This can happen fast, within just a few days, weakening you right when you need your strength the most.
The key here is protein that requires zero effort. Pouched fish is an absolute game changer, because it gets rid of the need for a can opener, which is a classic failure point. Canned beans, especially with pull tabs, are just a nutritional powerhouse. And jerky is super efficient. But you gotta remember, all that salt means you absolutely have to plan for extra water. All right, next up, we need something to actually hold it all together. And this isn't just about carbs for a quick energy burst. We're talking about foods that provide structure, the things that turn a few separate items into what feels like a real meal.
Tortillas are just brilliant for this. They're super compact, they last for a really long time, and they basically act as a delivery system for everything else. No plates, no forks, no problem. And crackers, well, they serve a really important psychological purpose. They force you to assemble your food, which helps fight that weird feeling of just, shoveling in fuel for the sake of it. Some preppers call it maintenance eating.
So with our foundation in place, now we need the fuel. But listen, not just any fuel. We need that slow burn energy that's going to sustain you for hours, without that awful spike and crash you get from sugary junk. These right here are your energy workhorses. Peanut butter is, arguably, the single most efficient food in this entire system. Nuts are perfect for when you're on the move and just can't stop. And instant oats, well, they have a little secret. You don't actually have to cook them.
I mean, just look at that number, over 2,000 calories. That's basically a full day of energy for an adult, all packed into one compact, shelf-stable jar. It's incredible.
And here it is, that secret for the oats. It's a technique long-distance hikers use called cold soaking. You literally just add cold water, give it a stir, and wait a few minutes. What you get is a bowl of slow-release complex carbs, and you didn't need any heat at all. It's really that easy. Okay, so we've covered the core physical needs. But let's be honest, an emergency that drags on for days becomes a mental game, a psychological challenge. And that's where these next items come in. These are the boosters. After a couple days of just dry, dense food, your brain starts to get bored. It's a real thing called sensory fatigue. Canned soup, even eaten cold, totally solves this and gives you crucial liquid. And canned fruit? Oh, that breaks up the monotony, gives you a quick sugar boost for mental clarity, and that little bit of sweetness can be a massive lift for your morale.
We're almost there. Our system is basically complete, but there are two final checks we have to make. These are the ones that protect your most important assets in a crisis, your ability to think straight, and your body's most fundamental need.
First, we have to talk about something called decision fatigue. In a crisis, your brain is already working overtime. It's overloaded. And the simple act of trying to figure out what to eat can become a huge mental burden that actually hurts your ability to make good decisions when it matters most.
So the solution is to have an option that requires exactly 0 decisions. We're talking about ready-to-eat packaged meals. You should think of these as your strategic reserve, your fallback for those really tough moments when you're just too exhausted or overwhelmed to even think about putting something together. You just open it and eat.
And now we get to the single most important part of this whole conversation. Let's be absolutely crystal clear on this. If you do not have a plan for water, you do not have a plan at all. All the food in the world means nothing without it.
I mean, you can go for weeks without food, but without water, that survival window slams shut in about 72 hours. It is the absolute 100% non-negotiable priority.
So, what's the magic number you need to remember? It's simple. 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's your baseline. That covers drinking and some basic hygiene. And hey, remember that jerky we talked about? If you're eating salty stuff, you might need even more.
Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. Let's step back and take a look at what this whole system looks like when it's fully assembled.
And this table just lays it all out so perfectly. You've got your protein to protect your body, your energy foods for that slow burn fuel, and your structural carbs to actually build meals. Then your boosters handle the hydration and morale, while those ready-to-eat meals protect your brain. You see? It's a complete interlocking strategy where every part supports the others.
You know, the main takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. Being prepared isn't really about being some rugged survivalist. It's just about making a few thoughtful, very specific decisions right now, in this calm moment, long before you ever actually need them.
And that brings us to the final question. And this one is for you. Take a good look at this system we just built. Which piece of it is missing from your pantry right now? Answering that one question for yourself today, well, that's your first real step toward being truly prepared.